This is the Stingher 800 GT, made by Italcraft in northern Italy. I must confess I've seen these boats around for quite some time and was looking forward to having the first opportunity to try one. They look exactly right. They've got a very high bow, nice deep V hull, large spray rails to deflect the spray but not too big so that they create a lot of slamming, and very nicely laid out inside too. The seating arrangement's very practical. So it was good that I had the opportunity to go and test her in some fairly testing conditions. This particular boat that we tested with its 300 horsepower Verado is fast enough to be exhilarating for those who want a little bit test of speed, but not so unruly that it would get you into trouble or frighten anybody. Top speed that we achieved with the craft was 44 knots. Like so many tests that we carry out, the weather conditions, as I said already, weren't ideal, and I guess with a little bit less weight in the craft, perhaps on a nicer day we might have seen more speed. I'm told the boat's capable of 52 knots, which is very respectable when you consider this is an 8-metre rib, not designed for racing or for high-speed use. It's designed for cruising. But I have to say, it is a good hull. The windscreen dashboard layout is particularly attractive. It's got a very high screen, and this means that the wind is blown right over your head. You don't get anything in your face at all. No matter how fast the boat's going, you're well protected. Standing or sitting, it's very, very good indeed. Tinted windscreens, don't like them. Never have, never will. The layout on the dashboard is particularly ergonomically right. You're looking down on the instruments. The GPS is directly in front of the driver, where it should be. The whole design of the dash is perfect. The steering position, the wheel and the controls, everything falls to hand. But little things like the grab rail all around the screen, it's the right diameter to get hold of, and the passenger also has a good handhold on that. The upholstery is nicely done. It's not got a seating arrangement per se. It has a bolster type arrangement, typical Mediterranean Italian idea, but it's quite comfortable to lean into. A very, very nicely upholstered boat. If you wanted to stand behind the seat and have really secure handhold, you can. This very correctly positioned stainless steel rail makes it ideal for two people to stand directly behind the driver and passenger and hang on. However, there is a full width contoured rear bench seat, and this is beautifully upholstered again, nice high backrest. It's all part of an integral moulding which goes the whole length of the boat. It means you can clean the bottom of the boat easily. You can put a hose down. There's no little edges or anything for it to catch under. Everything goes straight out of the self-bailers in the stern. There's a flexi-teak deck on this boat, and there's a moulded A-frame instead of the usual stainless steel one. Moulded A-frames are controversial to some people, ideal for others. They certainly enhance the appearance of the boat, there is no question, and if they're properly made, there's no reason why one shouldn't have one. On this particular craft, I couldn't fault it. And it had a very nice feature in a solar panel mounted on the top. Now, okay, you say if you turn all the power off, it shouldn't go flat, but there is a habit for these things to happen, and who knows, maybe you leave it for a couple of months, but it will be fully charged up when you get down there. There's LED lighting along the decks, and there's a huge sunbathing area in the bow. The sunbathing area has got two enormous lockers inside it. You just could not fill these lockers, even if you had 10 people on the boat and all their equipment. They are massive, and they've got the cushions that go on top, so you can use the whole area as a sunbathing area. Although it is stepped, there's still plenty of room for one to lie down on it. There's the obligatory bathing platform towards the stern, which has a safety ladder or boarding ladder if you like. There's lockers under the rear seat, a cavernous locker under the rear seat, another locker under the console under the suicide seat, and there's also more space in the back of the driver's console seat. The driver's or helmsman's seat has got two lockers, one above the other, excellent for storage. Overall, this interior is one of the nicest laid out I've seen in ages. I really like this boat. You're deep inside it. It's got very substantial tubes. You've got a nice fiberglass bow section which houses the mooring cleat and a bow roller. Altogether, this is one of the nicest layouts I've seen. I particularly like the front seat, which has got access to the electrics, and they've even provided a couple of handles for passengers sitting on that forward seat to hold on to. And you could actually use this seat, whereas you couldn't most, going to sea, providing they weren't going too fast in rough conditions. The bow houses a built-in anchor with an electric winch on it, remote controlled or manually operated from up in the bow. It's still going to be better than trying to pull an anchor out of the locker and hauling it over the side. Surprising really that more people don't do it. Performance of the boat, as I've already said, was 44 knots. Such a high bow, one cannot see any way of ever stuffing this boat in a following sea. It corners well, it heads into the sea beautifully, there's no tendency for it to fly. Going downwind into the biggest waves, absolutely dry as a bone. So overall this is one very good practical package. At £52,500 with the Verado and all the extras as mentioned, including an overall cover and a 600 litre fuel tank. This represents really good value and a sensibly sized boat, one that you could trail if you had a larger car, one that you can easily manhandle on the trailer. And I certainly think that Stinghers will do very well with this boat in the UK. It represents good value, good seaworthy package, dry riding, nicely appointed.